What's up, YouTube fam? It's Dark Angel's Journey, and I am Shakira. What is up? What is up? So, we are in the first week of March, and if you're in the US, I think it's going to be daylight savings on Sunday, tomorrow. Ridiculous thing, really. Anyway, all it does is make me tired for like 2 weeks after the change for some stupid reason. Who the heck knows? All right, so this is the first week of March's review. Also, I can't get the thought out of my head that I need to really, 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 really take a closer look at my entry models and my thought processes during the week because, a lot of times I tend to miss the trades that I'm looking for because, and let's be honest, price has been really like it's been moving around nicely, but it's been super volatile and hard to get into some things unless you like, YOLO into it. You know what I mean? So, um, I'm gonna do the review this week. I'm gonna do it in a way that's going to help me figure out what I did wrong and what I need to focus on. Because I know like even on Friday when I saw trades I wanted to take and didn't take them, and then saw trades took a trade that I wanted, it didn't work out. That's fine. And then I immediately switched in the opposite direction without really like taking time to review where price was at that point and adjusting my entry. So those are things that are my fault. So I have blown up my calendar because I want my image to be in this top right corner that you're seeing here, and I want you to be able to see exactly what's happening. So interesting week for me. Still not fully green in the week, obviously. I mean, technically, I think I'm green by about $56. Because Wednesday I got a nice big trade and I could have milked a lot more out of it, but I'm happy with it. And so we're gonna go through the entire week and we're going to focus seriously on my method and what I'm looking for each time. So this might take a little bit longer than the 15 to 30 minute time period because I really want to focus on it. Because my brain, it's like you're there, you're almost there, you're almost there. And I'm not quite stepping over the threshold yet, so I still need to refine. So let's switch over to my trading window and I'm gonna make myself a little smaller, tiny, up top in there, right about there. All right, and I have my uh New Day opening gap um template up, and I'm wondering if I'm gonna bother to use this one. I might just switch to the clean one. So as usual, my screen is over here for testing. So let's look at what happened on Friday because that particular scenario was honestly unnecessary, meaning the losses I took were unnecessary because I didn't realize I did it again. Like this week, I took trades at the new day at the midnight open, and I don't like doing that. So whenever I do that, I always end up losing, and it was very choppy after in the PM. So that really got me good. Let me just make one quick update here to my journal. Do believe we're in week 50. Next week will be week 57 of my trading journey. I love that, right? I love that. So, yep, it'll be week 57. Hmm. So it's interesting. I might show, when I focus on my trades and things, I'm I'm looking at, when I show you my losses, like, I might have made some money and then I made a bigger loss, which netted. Or if you see the bigger losses, then I made two losses in a row, period. And then sometimes when I'm losing my mind, I might make three losses. Anyway, so let's switch over to this guy. Let's do this till 1 minute. And actually, let's do the 15 minutes. And so in the PM, I really got chopped up in here, which is really unfortunate because I had a couple of things that I wanted to take earlier in the day. So let's first look at what I was considering. Let's see, it's the 15 minutes. So I would be normally looking at fair value gap in that time frame and considering a breakout from that fair value gap, especially if it's one where we haven't closed a wick below it. So this one's technically not super ideal because it's also at the midnight opening, which I wasn't super paying close attention to, which I should have been. So that's entirely my fault right there. But and I think I also had oh yeah, this is the one I was messing about inside of. And I also had this guy, but I don't think I was using him too clearly. Otherwise, I might have, well, let's see. It's a nice to be on the 15 minutes. Let's take a look at it on the 1 minute. So I took the two trades that I took about 240, 245-ish. So in this general vicinity right here where I got my arse handed to me. So on the 1 minute, I was waiting for a closure below. So I took a short right here, um, with the expectation after this nice drop that they would like tap it, especially with this green candle here, tap it and drop. So that was a full stop out for me because once they closed, I set my order like that. And so that green candle, it dropped a little bit when it first formed. So it gave me like a small, like, bounce, and then it kicked me out. Then I took a long, understanding that they were going to continue up. And then I took a long right in here, and then, of course, got stopped out. So what I should have been doing, um, yeah, and got stopped out. So I knew that they were going to be switching out, and I figured, I think I took it at the top of that candle right there. So that candle stopped me out. Now, if I'd been paying closer attention to where I am, so for example, I could have, I probably wouldn't have paid close attention to this fair value gap right here, but I probably should have paid closer attention to it. So I like to use the higher time frame fair value gaps to this. But I mean, the long story short is I really just got caught up in the chop. Now, let's look at this on the 30 seconds because I would have still wanted to go long, and my general idea was something to come back up to like take that out, which would have been fine. So on the 30 seconds, if I had really paid closer attention at the sweep once they rolled back up, I should have set my order for the long here and waited to see if they wanted to come back. And then that would have been fine. Um, the other option would have been like if I were to take it there, and then I could have gotten like my typical 105, but with all of the movement right there, but with all of the movement, I'm looking for bigger returns, just like I got on Wednesday. So technically, this is the better play. We had a sweep, fair value gap. They tapped it in here. And then, to be honest, given that I was looking for something like this, right, in the 30 seconds, they moved up quite a bit. I would have wanted them to take this high out right here before I move my stop up. So in hindsight, that would have been nice. Now, the other thing that's interesting is I I probably given that I'm looking at Think or Swim, right? And they don't have a 30 seconds time frame. Everything stops at 1 minute. So that really hurts my heart a bit because some of the things that I'd be willing to take on a 30-second time frame, I have to translate over to Think or Swim. And sometimes it's a little bit difficult to do that, like speedily. Anyway, you can do it, but not fast. At least not with my clicking speed. Anyway, so I had also specced out the weekly retracements. Anyway, so those are the two trades that I took. Now, I honestly, if I'm being honest with you, let's go back to the 30 seconds. Like, I was also looking at what was going on up here, right? So we had one, two, three attempts to go long, and it didn't work. I might have been interested in this little sweep right here, but I figured it was too shallow. I wanted like a proper body closure below it for a continuation down. And then they finally gave me that there. And then I was technically hoping for a return to like here, but they didn't tap it. So then I moved my attention to here. And then I was wondering if I should have been more interested in taking the short from this body right here. But I don't know, it's just a lack of trust on my part, if I'm being honest. Um, and then I would have gotten, at least the minimum 105 from that trade. Even if it would have been kind of annoying. But. So let's go back to the 1 minute. So things that I don't know why I have all these open here. 'Cause I sometimes just have them randomly sitting about. All right, so things that I saw, like when I came back up at 1 o'clock and at 1:30, right? And I was also wondering, so 1:30, we've been pushing up, and a nice retracement here. I honestly just didn't know where they were going with this at 2 o'clock, right? Like this, let's go back to the 30 seconds again. So I was thinking to myself, like, okay, so for a continuation back up, they've swept a few things, dropped, left this little fair value gap here. And if I'm being honest, the start of it's here and they tap that. And sometimes I see that pretty often, like for a continuation back up, like a retracement. And that's a good like setup. But I pretty sure I was on a call and couldn't really focus on it, which was really annoying. So then that set me on this dangerous path right here, looking for the short, but then realizing that a long would be a better play for me, at least um, to come back up into these areas here. But I got smoked. That's all right. So for the morning, oh man, so in the morning, something that I saw about sometimes like around 9:45 I can see, and let's go back to the 1 minute. Sometimes around 9:45 I can see certain plays that would work out for me potentially. See if I documented that. Documented, oh, no, I didn't. Okay. Because I feel like there was a long in the morning that I thought was useful. Let's go back to the 15 minutes. We set the chart there. So for 9:30, I would have been looking at this guy. How did I miss him? Let's set this up. So that's a busy right there. So I would have been looking at fair value gaps that have been holding price down or up, as points of interest for myself. And if I'm being honest, like, somewhere down here, um, and I had one in the morning when they were pushing up that I was like, just push one more time over above it, and then I would be super happy to go long. And let me see if I can find it. Just tapped into it and then ran. So in the morning, let's see, it's 8:30. Little guy right here. Is that it? I think so. Let's see. So I had two, and it might have also been on the 5 minutes. Yeah, somewhere around here where it was, let's do the 5 minutes, where I could track specific behavior. Like I think right around in here, if this had closed higher up, then I would have been happy. But look at the behavior here. Like they tapped up back at 10:40. And I think that was around the time when I was in a meeting. Very annoying, if I'm being honest with you. So this is about 10:20. Nice drop, drop, drop. That was quite a wake up. And it tapped that one more time. And I mean, from here, I would have been perfectly happy taking a short, but I've been really focused on these fair value gaps. Like if I looked at the 1 minute one right here, we dabbled and then dropped, and then taking something at the midpoint of it, like once we uh, broke below it, wouldn't have been a bad idea, but still not juicy. And this 5 minute one, like right here, like holding fast, drop below it, like right here. But that was at 11:30, which really hurt my heart. Because we broke below it, and then let's see, would my stop have been able to withstand that? Because there's so much. What is happening? Okay. So my stop, actually, yeah, I remember. No, yeah, I was looking at that. I was like, oh, that'd be good if they came back and tapped it, and they didn't, and then they dropped. I don't know if I would have, I would have tried it here, and then I would have been stopped out, and then they would have ran again. Very annoying, if I'm being honest. For what I'm looking to do. But I might have tried more on the midpoint of this, like basically for this candle, like waiting for it to fall um below the midpoint. Because a lot of times I don't take the trade because my stop is pretty volatile. So I would have been stopped out there. But I guess with the 1 minute, right? Like I could have tried for the base of this candle and that would have been fine. And in all honesty, I would have just looked to take the that to so that's something I could have done. Like once we saw it stalling here, especially with, the down trend or whatever. Anyway. Hmm. But this would have happened outside of my normal trading time. This happened right um decent time. This though, 9:55. Like what happened here? Cause what was going on here that I didn't take this one? It's like close the body, my stop would have been nuked right there. Then I tap back up, still wouldn't have gotten in. I might have tried, once these candles were forming, I might have tried on this here, and that would have got me down. Gotta figure out the best way to do this because it's still consisting of a waiting for Christ to tell me what direction it wants to go, like some sort of shift. Like I like when high has been taken and some fair value gap them watching has been violated, and then bam. The really, really good setups are like, when like a fair value gap has been basically used, like you've tapped it and run, tapped it and run, tapped it like multiple times. And then once they finally do break through that, then I know like once it hits the other end, most likely it's going to like continue like waterfalling. And I'm quite happy with the price action, the volatility, the movement, because now I can like move, look for more than I would normally. So I don't usually, the few times at the end of February that I try to trade outside of the 9:30 time frame, I got smoked. And then other times when I think about, oh, I see, oh, that'd be a good trade, and then it works out really great. So that kind of is irritating to me. Anyway, I told you this one's going to be a little bit longer because I need to analyze what is going on in my head, Because sometimes when I'm trading, like I get into these, like my chest is tight. Like there's a big ball of stress and fear. And I'm trying to dissipate that, no matter what, dissipate it. Anyways, let's move on and let's clean that up. Okay. So let's go to Thursday. Now that day sort of annoyed me because it didn't annoy me per se, right? But I think I clicked the wrong thing for the entries that I took, right? And I got um tiny win and then one loss. So let's look at it. This was all in the morning. But let's take a look at the PM just to see what we would have had. So what I normally do is I take a look at where the lunchtime lows are. So like about 1:30, 1:40. So it's here. And they took it here. So let's specify that. So I would specify more. Where's my thingy? Oh, hiding over here. So, basic lunchtime low. So like some sell side right there. And then I would be denoting the next equal high area. Um, Technically it's all the way up here, but I'm looking for low hanging fruits if I can get it. You know what I mean? So some buy side right there. And I don't need to get to it. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't have to be where I take, and I'll clone this guy and I'll plop it here for some for some minor buy side, right? So let's see. So about 2:23. This is on 1 minute. It's about 15 minutes. So that's just specifying the buy side there. Let's go back to the PM. Yeah. So 15 minutes. I gotta look to the left to see if there's any fair value gaps and things I need to work with. I don't have much. Um, don't have much to play with in this general vicinity. So I'll drop down to like the 1 hour and like nip to the right if I can find something in this space that might be holding price up or down. And let's see. Here's one on the 1 hour. We've dipped a little bit below it, but we've mainly respected it. Let's see how that works. And then let's extend this to the right. don't have to think about where it is. Ha. Okay, so on the 15 minute, ah, look at that. So we have a fair value gap that I probably should have been paying closer attention to. Let's drop to the 1 minute, right? And I've specced out where. So very nice, very, very nice. So now this is a nice setup right here. Um, on the 15 minute, we haven't closed um, anywhere near this, and probably should let, you know, let's see. Oh, did I just kick myself back to Friday? Oh, these guys aren't showing that. Haha, just the one screen. Never mind. So on the 15 minutes, we have a nice looking move here. Now, something I would have really liked here, right? So once this popped up, sometimes, you know, I would have liked to see a long from here, right? I would have loved to see it. So once that candle broke above it, the long from here would have been what I was looking for. And if I'm being completely honest with you, I would just be looking for that guy, even though I expect all of this out, right? I'd take this guy right here. Just low hanging fruit. Why? Because we tapped that, we didn't go anywhere. Now, if there was a 30-second fair value gap in the space here, I might have been willing to take it further down. Um, to be honest. Also, also, once this break happened, I might have been willing to take it there, still including there, and in the hopes that my stop would hold on to it. And then I could most definitely, with all the big juicy movements. So we've got that high. I could have gone for that and just seen if it was going to make it and then trail my stop behind it. But yeah, my thing would have been seeing that right there and then waiting for that to get broken like that and beautiful. And then just taking that. But that's only because we've taken a low, we haven't dropped any lower, and then we've shifted the structure here. And from being honest, there's no reason since they spent so much time tapping the midpoint. Once they broke through it, I don't really see a need for them to come back down to it. I mean, they do to consolidate and be douchey, but you know, hmm. So that's like the thought process I need to recognize and live inside of, not be afraid because these are the trades I'm going to be taking. Like I'm watching to see how they behave around these spaces and then taking the trades that make sense. And I'm going to win sometimes, I'm going to lose sometimes, but I find that when they do these things, they move quite a decent amount. And I'm just going to be like, trailing my stop up, you know. And like I said, I would have been like that, and I might have been like, okay, I've locked in like five, 600, and then it starts moving. I might move it up. That's a 1 minute candle that took that out nicely. So this happened about 2:30. Yeah, about 2:30. Honestly, for a short, I might have been, given the fact that we've been dropping, I might have been interested in taking a short right here. Since, like around 2 o'clock, I might have been interested. Let's see if the midpoint of that to take that low out below. See if my stop could have withstood that. And I'm finding that trying to use the wicks most of the time is like the best bet for me. So I would have to sit through a little bit of drawdown there once it popped me in, and then I would have like that. So this is Thursday. What did I do on Thursday? That got me, this is the 6th. Let me look at my screenshots. Oh, why didn't I take, oh, I took two trades in the morning. Yeah, that's why I didn't see these opportunities in the PM because I was rushing for some reason. Well, not rushing, but I wanted something special in the morning and I didn't get it. I sometimes wonder if I should try and take the trades on like the 5 minute or something, like if that would have been clearer. And the answer for me is no. Okay, that would not have been clearer. But in the PM, sometimes I swear, like when I rush in the mornings and I get, yes, I would have been perfectly happy just taking that low out right there and just stop right there. Sometimes in the PM, like I just get my ass handed to me. And so sometimes I want to just get through the AM sessions. But that's not the right attitude to have, is it? No, no, it's not. Anyway, so one more thing, because sometimes I gotta see what's happening. So on the 1 minute, right there, let's do a Sibby right there. Okay. So on the 1 minute, I could, there were these. Yeah, so if they came back up, dropped below, let me see, because I would have been chopped up right there. Yeah. So that's why I don't like to use the 1 minute candles. Sometimes they don't do as much as I would like. Perhaps so once it broke below and came back up. Um, no, 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 no. I might have been interested in like a return to here and then see what they did. But then once they dropped, uh, yeah. But most likely the trade I would have taken would have been this one, not necessarily this one. Would have been this one, and that would have been, you know, with the fair value gap included, it would have been a nice look to see if they wanted to take that high out. And then once we dug in here, moved my stop to here, and then I would have gotten a nice thing, even though this was here. Anyway, all right, so let's clear that up and see what we had in the AM that got me in a little bit of trouble. Uh, so I got into a buy, I clicked the wrong thing, made 25 bucks, and then got into a sell a couple minutes later and then lost. So let's go up to the 15 minute and let's see what I was looking at. It's Thursday. It's okay. So Thursday, see, we had this guy that folks were sitting around inside of as a BISI on the 15, approximately. Okay. And then this has just formed, so I probably wouldn't have taken it into as much thing because we've used this one, used it. I'm just looking for a reversal from it. Yeah, pretty sure. Something like that. And then other areas of interest. No, I don't like that one. It's not, doesn't quite meet my criteria. This guy. Well, let's see, because we ran past this one for a bit. So that's the previous day's midnight open. I find I just don't like. Yes, I wasn't looking at that. And this guy, yes, I probably was looking at this one. It's from 6:30 because they used it and ran up, and then I was looking to use it for a rundown. But I get the feeling that no, that one's too small. All right, let's drop to the 1 minute. And let's nip over to the morning here. So about 10:54, like right in this general vicinity. Okay. Yeah, so after all of this, we shifted, da da da. Um, I was trying to go short here. Um, and it put me in a long, and then I went short right here, and then they, of course, ran back up just to spite me. Please, nobody's spiting anybody here. They're just going. Now, this isn't exactly my normal because I was looking for them to, come down into this like so, which they did later on, but they decided to hang about in here for a bit. Um, and these candles, they're hard to sustain with my stuff. Really, really hard. But I got along here right as I was trying to go short, and it gave me 25 bucks, and then I took the short right in here and then got stopped out on this candle right here. So that's fun for me. Now, what could I've done better from that, right? So if I'm thinking about it, right, 'cause we're pushing up, I probably was very short biased, obviously. I mean, come on. And I recall thinking to myself that there was a spot in here that had a nice little break that looked like a good setup for me. 30 seconds. Thursday. So I recall thinking there was a nice break for a continuation up that I was looking at and missed, and I didn't document it for some reason, which hurt my heart. But this is the 30 seconds, so I wouldn't have taken any of this. There's nothing here. A tiny thing there. Um, but I would have preferred it on a break like this. So yeah, so none of this met my criteria for a long, even though it was a shift. I could have, gone with the order block directly to the 1 minute because most of the time now I'm trying to look at what's happening on the 1 minute instead. So I'm trying to think. I saw something that made me want to go long. It might have been this break right here. No, that's when I was trying to go short. No, that wasn't it. So I don't think there was anything juicy. I was waiting for this. But in terms of like catching any of this run, I mean, I wouldn't have caught any of it. Yeah, I would not have. And then they just kind of consolidated, which, chopped us up. Was hoping they wanted to push down a little bit further, but they weren't ready for that. So they left that for like 11:30 lunchtime time frame. So that was Thursday morning. The afternoon would have been juicy for me. But the morning, not good for me, for sure. For my trading style anyway. Let's clean that up and let's go up to the 15 minute and let's go to Wednesday. I got a nice juicy trade on Wednesday. Okay. Nice juicy, very clear trade on Wednesday. All right, so we're in the 15 minutes. I would be looking for areas and fair value gaps that I can use. So here's the one nice one right here. And I got this in the early morning. Let's see. Looking for something that was holding price up or down. Fair value gap 945. So there's is it this one? I was looking at? I think so. Let's check here. And that's a Sibi on the 15-minute. So 9:30. No, not that one. Oh, the one above it, probably. Hold on. Because it's by the name and like that. Yeah, okay. So let's go back to this trade here. So lovely sweep right in here. So they swept all of this juiciness right here and left me with this nice wick order block from my perspective. And then dropped, I waited for it to close nicely below it. And it did. And then I just extended my thing to give me just below that order block right there. So I got tagged in right there. And before I even had a real good chance of, like this candle just dropped and gave me my 9:30. So whenever I calculate my calendar, it's the win or loss plus the fees. So, because in my mind, the fees are also losses as well. So that was a nice move, though, it could have definitely dragged it down to maybe see if it wanted to come into this order block and gotten a bit more. The one thing about this particular entry, though, is I was trailing my stop behind it. I was like, ooh, getting the good, getting good, getting good, and I'm out. Because I wouldn't have wanted, because this pulled back up to drop and then continue dropping. So that's a scenario where this looks much more like what I like a nice sweep and a nice candle to, give me some follow through and then drop. So that's basically what I need to be doing, right? Like waiting for this type of setup and getting um, that good big run. So that was nicely set up. That's what I'm talking about. Like, and it like really puts into perspective the fact that bigger wins can dwarf your smaller losses. You just need to make sure that the wins are bigger than your losses. Um, yeah. So that was the trade. And then I considered taking a second trade in the PM, but I didn't like anything that I saw here. Like it was just annoying. And then I was considering waiting until um 3:45 and then I just had stuff to do because I was like maybe around 3:45 it will show me what it wanted. And then it was hanging out at the midnight open. I didn't like that at all. Um let's see. If my stop wouldn't have sustained it, that so I would have just given stuff back, and I don't like that. So I chose to not trade anymore that day, just take the decent win. Um, Sometimes a lunchtime can be good, but I've yet to get comfortable with that. So in terms of like trades that I really, really look forward to taking, where'd it go? Where's 9 o'clock? 9:45. Did I delete it? Oh, this is Tuesday. Haha, I went back too far. Boo. My bad. So in terms of trades that I'm trying to catch, like these right here with this obvious sweep, got a shift here, close below, got a nice green order block right here. That's higher than that. That's higher than that. So it makes it an order block for me in that space. And then I just take it at the base of that. Sometimes the wick is better, but that would have worked. That worked out nicely for me. So that was Wednesday. So let's roll into Tuesday and let's clear that up. So Tuesday, what happened? Tuesday, I had one win and one loss. So my win was smaller than my loss. So I think net was $79 loss for the day. And that one was very interesting because go up to the 15-minute, because I've been noticing certain behaviors. Well, let's first analyze what we have, right? So this is Tuesday. So in the morning before 9:30, right? So I would be looking at all of this and then anything outside of it as well. So, like for example, this fair value gap before that time would have been holding, that held price down at 9 o'clock, right? So I would have been looking at that one. This guy, of course, and then I would be wondering if we would have some sort of reversal or reclaiming of this fair value gap that price hung out at and ran up through. So let's drop to the 1 minute and let's see what I saw at 9:30. And it was so fast too, so crazy. So right here is the first trade I took, right? I was just like, I dropped it in there. I was in a good spot. I was like, okay, great, that looks good. And I want to go short. And I was looking for them to take this low out. You know what I mean? And so what happened was I got tagged in like so fast. This candle just tagged me in. And then I moved my stop into just a little below it. I think it was like 120 or something like that. And then it, did all this and then stopped me out. So I was like, okay, that's lame. But then I took another short at 10:11. So that got me there. So I took another short at 10:11 and I got stopped out uh, at the low, like right here, thinking perhaps I might get a continuation down. Of course, they did all of that and then they dropped. So annoying. But it does happen. So what did I do wrong? I was at the lows, which I shouldn't be taking anyway. And I should have been more focused on, um, well, I think what got me, if we zoom in a little bit, right, is, we closed a body below here. We got this candle and then this little area here. So I thought when we tapped it here, because it did tap it and then drop a bit, and then it ran. So I was hoping for a continuation like that, but it didn't want to. It didn't want to give it to me. So what could I have done better there? Well, could have looked at the 5 minute right at that time. So now we're looking at what we could have done better. So we could have looked at the 5 minute. And so we have this fair value gap right here that runs to here. Let's see. Should be right there. And we could have considered if it tapped that and then dropped down below, that would have been nice, right? I don't know. I don't think my stop could have sustained it. But let's look at it on the 1 minute. Where'd it go? Let's look at it on the 1 minute. Okay, so technically, seeing this 5 minute fair value gap behave this way after it was formed, I could, and the fact that it was staying below the midpoint, I mean, again, my stop wouldn't have sustained this. but I might have been interested in that short, and I definitely would have gotten stopped out because I get the feeling that spiked up and then dropped like a stone. So, still wouldn't have worked out for me. The other thing I could have done is seeing that it was doing this here. That's assuming the 5 minute candle had been formed already. Let's take a look here. That's assuming the 5 minute candle had already been formed. So it got formed here. So my entry would have showed up on this 5 minute candle somewhere, approximately. So yeah, so this would have been formed right there. And then that means that given, let's see, given the nature, given, we're dropping, we're respecting the midpoint. So we dropped up, respected it once, twice. So after the third time, I could have done this and then, you know, then seeing if they wanted to drop below this. I mean, obviously they would have done the third chance and then they would have dropped and then bam. And now if there was a lower target than that, but low hanging fruits, man, like get your money, And that would have been a nice run. And it would have been to zoom in on that. So something to consider, because then they came back and did the same thing here, stayed below the midpoint. Then maybe I could have tried it here, and that would have been instant gratification as well. To see again low hanging fruit down here or digging into this fair value gap here. And this one times that, yeah, I wouldn't have been doing that. So that's something I could have done better with this. I could have done a lot better um using the higher time frame fair value gap, seeing that they were rejecting at the midpoint with the wicking, then putting my order there to see. So we're wicking, wicking, wicking. Maybe if they wick it one more time, then I'll be able to get something out of it. So, something to consider for next time. Definitely. Hmm. Yeah. So that's nice. All right, let's dip into Monday and then we can have some breakfast and then my mind can feel at ease a bit, you know? All right, let's nip up to the 15 minute. All right, so this is Monday. And what happened on Monday? I took one trade on Monday. Took an AM long right at the midnight open. Yeah, and that really got me in the feels a little bit. I did have a PM short that was a bit too slow to catch, which hurt my heart because that would have run nicely. All right, so let's take a look here. So this is the AM. And what would I have been looking at? Right, so I definitely had a fair value gap that I was paying attention to. 6 a.m. Yeah, so I would have had this guy up. See what's up. And what else we got that's been holding price up? Yeah, it's probably this one that got me. All of this juiciness. So I probably would have had this guy. And okay, let's go into 1 minute. And then in terms of it's 10, so in terms of places to go, I would have been looking at these lows. if I'm being honest. Like the next 15-minute low was probably down here. But anyway, so I had like things set that I was looking at. So let's see what I did do though. Like a silly goose. So I took a 1046. I took a long at 1045. Probably right around here. Yeah, because I would have waited for them to break this and then let it run. Huh. Oh, maybe I was trying this thing right here. Yep, that's exactly what happened. And I didn't realize it was at the midnight open because I wouldn't have taken it. And that's happened to me twice this week. So remember, Shakira, this is a good lesson. Yeah, so I took a long here. In the hopes they would push into this fair value gap up here. Because sometimes when they drop, and they switch, they like to do continuations up. But they were consolidating in this area after that, so it happens. It's all right. Um, yeah. And I think the other thing I saw was this for a long, but I was already done for the day, and my stop wouldn't have sustained that short of taking it there, and I would have been wicked out just there. Yep. Now, things that I saw in the PM that I wanted really badly, and I tried to catch it. And this is at 2:52 in the PM. 2:52, yeah. The short right in here. Ah, man, was a little slow on the 30 seconds. And let me do the select bar thing so I can drop to the 30 seconds without having to keep changing my thoughts or whatever. It's 2:30. Oh, did it go too far? Oh, hold on. There's a 15-minute fair value gap in here that I was using at the time as reference. Let's see here. 20,007. So let's just double check. Make sure that there isn't a break there. So right here. Okay, back to the 1 minute. So there was something on the 30 seconds that yeah, here we go. Let's zoom in. So on the 30 seconds, after they ran away and didn't give me a chance, well, they did actually, and I didn't realize it or didn't take it. Too slow to catch it. Anyway, so I didn't take this, which is silly of me because I should have taken the short right here per my current model. Would have been fine. Would have caught this nice short for these equal lows down here. Beautiful. But what I was slow to catch is this guy. Like I was in the middle of putting my entry in. I wanted that guy. And then I missed it. And then it ran to my TP that I had set up down around here. So that's just me being slow. But in hindsight, we had this lovely little shift here. Just look at it on the 1 minute, because maybe that's what messed with me. Yeah. And I should have just taken that. Yeah, that's what I should have taken. and then seeing if we could get a nice run down to my TP right down there. That would have been a nice move. So it's definitely better. It's much, much better. You know, I am much, much better. And I'm very happy with how things are going. Um, so the only thing I have to say for myself is just keep going. Take the trades, even if you're terrified. Just do it and be faster. The whole clicking, click here in Thinkorswim can be annoying, but you just got to do it. You're anticipating something, just take it. It's going to be okay. You got this. So let me know down in the comments if you have how your week went, um, if these are helpful for you at all. I know they're helpful for me. It just makes me feel better when I like sit down and analyze what I'm doing and what I should be doing and the things I should be um, taking. And sometimes I see things that I know are good setups and I don't take them. So I'm working through that. It's weird how these little hurdles, I think in terms of like jobs, this is one of the most mentally taxing ones because I have these subtle hints in my head that they're quiet, they're silent. Not quite silent, but they're like really faint. And I need to be able to listen to them. Anyway, so we're about an hour in, and that's plenty. So I hope everybody enjoys the weekend. Stay safe. Shakira out.